Hi, I'm Rich Taylor from Speargun. Today I want to talk to you about how to choose the right Eurogun. There's a lot of different types of Euroguns, and I'll bet you I'm going to show you some stuff today that I almost guarantee you didn't know. So let's get to it. One of the features, I just picked a gun off the shelf. This is a Rob Allen gun. It's a great gun, very popular gun, one of the most popular guns in the world. Excellent gun, but it doesn't have some features that I personally like in a Euro style pipe gun. Some, but not all. So let's take, for instance, this gun here. Built-in reel holder. I love that. That's got it built in. We don't have to do any kind of mounting or clamps or anything like that. Most of them come with these built-in reel holders now, so that's pretty common. But you want to have something that's got a built-in reel holder in case you don't use a float line. Something I like is the line release. I like it on the side of the gun. Underneath it is a little bit of a pain sometimes when you're trying to get that wrapped around the back side of the reel, depending on the reel. Sometimes it'll get kind of tangled up in that reel. It's a little bit of a pain, so I like to have the line release going down the side. One of the things this gun has that I really like is this built-in track. The track will make the gun more accurate. It'll pull out some of that shaft whip if you've got a hot band on there or two. So a built-in rail is a pretty cool feature to have. Another feature I like is that the Rob Allen has is the multi-band slots on here. So I can power this thing up with 2 bands, or I can take 1 band off and shoot it with a single band. Some of these guns where you just have one really strong band, not a big fan of. If you're in dirty water, if you're shooting something close in, you'll shoot your shaft right through the wreck or right through a rock. It's just too much power. So it's nice to be able to adjust that power with a couple of different band slots and have 2 different bands, 2 bands on these guns. So that's something that's nice here. Now, one of the big things that I really like is an open muzzle. Okay, open muzzle is important because with a closed muzzle, you can only shoot the notch shafts through it. You can't shoot the shark fin shafts through them typically unless they're really, really tiny. So you want to look for something that has an open or at least a convertible. The convertibles are some of the new features that I've seen on a couple of guns, and that allows you to take the top off of this muzzle and you can shoot either open or closed. The closed are kind of nice because you can just jam a shaft in there and shoot. You don't have to wrap your line on this thing, whereas the open track you have to wrap the line around it, and it holds the shaft down so the shaft's not falling off. But I like the fact that I can shoot multiple different types of shafts, both notched and shark fins, out of the open muzzle gun. All right, now the part you've been waiting for. What are you going to tell me that I didn't already know about these guns? Okay, there are a couple different types of mechs on these things. Okay, there's what's called a long tang Euro and a short tang Euro. What's that, you say? All right, let's take, for instance, I'm not picking on Rob Allen because they make some fantastic products, fantastic guns. But this is very common in the industry, and it's starting to be kind of antiquated. It's not really with some of the modern stuff that's being done in guns and shafts. This is a long tang mech on here. The tang is the flat part on the back of the shaft. This tang here is 2.5 inches, and then it's about 1.5 inches up to the first notch in the shafts here. So we're losing close to, well, we're about 4 inches here from the back of the shaft to the first notch. Okay, that's a long tang. The trend now is going to short tangs and getting these notches or these shark fins as far back on these shafts as possible for more power, more band stretch. This is what's called a short tang. This tang on this one's only a little over 1 inch long, and that shark fin you can see is right there. So we're looking at it less than 1.5 inches from the back of the shaft. So we put these 2 shafts side by side. This one's in the middle of this tang right here, the short tang. So almost a little over 4 inches. The difference between these things. So you can see from this notch right all the way up here, this shark fin all the way back here, you're going to get a couple more inches of band stretch, which is huge. The beauty of getting a mechanism that will take a short tang Euro shaft is that you can use this long tang shaft in that gun But you can't use these short tang shafts in the Rob Allen or any of the long tang style of guns. Okay, that's a pretty big deal, especially if you want the maximum horsepower out of one of these guns that you could possibly get. So that's something that I feel is very important, finding a mechanism that will take both long tang and short tangs, and so it's got to be a short tang gun. So that will fit in there, and you're going to get that maximum band stretch out of these guns. It's a pretty important feature, and that's the way a lot of the smaller manufacturers are moving towards. The bigger ones are a little bit slow to change, but you're going to see that in the future here, is moving towards a more short tang mechs and getting more band stretch out of these guns. Anyways, if you have any questions, please write something in the comments section. I'd love to answer any questions I can about these things. Rob Allen's a fantastic gun. I'm not picking on this gun at all. This is one of my best sellers, and it's a fantastic gun. I've used them. They're great. But there's some features that you might want to consider when you're looking at these things. And a lot of these things that I just talked about cross over to the wood guns as well. So anyways, good shopping and good hunting. Thanks for watching.